Hello friends, welcome to Azure. In this video we'll talk about Azure CLI in interactive mode. Now, before we jump into the video, we need to have Azure CLI installed on the machine. If you guys are new and if you haven't installed the Azure CLI, just follow me here. You can watch the video here in which I have explained how to install Azure CLI on Windows machine. Alright, so once you have your Azure CLI installed, come back to this video and then follow me here. Alright, so it's time to start the Azure CLI in interactive mode. What I will do is let me just go and start the command prompt first. Now, the command to start Azure CLI in interactive mode is azure space interactive. Simple, right? There is no configuration required at all. You just need to type the command azure space interactive and hit enter. It will just take a couple of seconds and then it will start Azure CLI in interactive mode. Alright, is there. Now you can see here Azure is your prefix. Alright, now let's talk about some function keys like F1, F2 and F3. But in this video we'll talk about only F1. F1 function key, it helps you in enabling or disabling some of the options. Let me just go and hit F1. Now here you can see, right? It says, do you want command description, yes or no? So by typing Y or N, you can enable or disable the option, but I will go with yes. Second option, it says, do you want parameter description? Again, I'll go and hit Y. Next one is, do you want examples? Obviously, I want the examples. So this is how by using F1 key, you can enable or disable the options. Now, there is one more property to change the look and feel of your Azure CLI. So the command is interactive and then dash style. So now to select the available options, you need to make use of up and down arrow keys, and to select you need to use the right arrow key. For example, I want to just go and opt primary and hit enter to run the command. So this particular command will change the style to primary. Primary in the sense you will have the drop down in the blue color and the text in the white color. Now to make it work, I have to exit and then I have to restart the start az interactive. Let me explain the command syntax first. So let me just go and open a notepad first. Okay, so let's have a look at the syntax. So the Azure command syntax follows this particular format. Az, you always need to write az. Why? Because this particular text az, it tells your command prompt that you are going to run this particular command against an Azure resource. All right. Now next is you need to type group. So group in the sense your Azure group. So it could be anything. It could be a virtual machine. It could be a resource group. It could be a web app. It could be anything, right? And then you need to type the command. So the command talks about your action. What do you want to do with the group? Either you want to create a new group or you can delete the group or you can list out, right? So there are different commands available and then you need to pass the parameters. Now here in parameters, we have something called required that you need to always pass and there are some optional parameters. Okay, you can see if you guys remember, we just changed the style to primary. So when you change the style to primary, you will have the background in the blue color and the text in a white background. If you want to change the style, you can again go back and run your command interactive, then dash style, and then you can choose from here. You can go and select none, you can go and select purple and any other like, or you can go with the default option. It is all up to you. But I'm not going to change as of now because I'm already running out of time. Now let's talk about some other options. Now you see here, as I told you, count, APIM, app config, app service, so many. You will have VM, you will have lot more containers, DB. There are so many things, right? So this is how it works for you. So let's say, for example, I want to go and select the group here. So group. So basically, the group stands for a resource group. I'm going to create a resource group. So the command is az and group. Now, so az and then group. And now what do we have? The next thing is okay. So I'm using down arrow key and then right arrow key to select, then space. Now here I'm passing the parameters. So if you guys remember the syntax, az, then your group, and then command, and then parameters, right? So let me just go and I can just go and select location. I just need to pass location. So for example, I want to go and opt East US. It's here. Now I have to pass name, resource group name. I can call it whatever I want. My RZ10, my RZ10. So this is the syntax. Now I hope you guys know what is the meaning of auto completion. So like as soon as you go and start typing, you will see the next available options, right? So this is what is auto completion is. Here you can see the command description. The command is az group create. So the meaning of this command is, or the command description is, create a new resource group, right? And here you can see an example, az group create machine. So I'll just type VM and then create. Now you see, to create a VM, I need to pass some parameters. So let's talk about these two parameters first, where you see required. It means if you want to create a VM, you need to supply name and resource group. These two are mandatory. Rest of other parameters are optional, right? For example, if I go and select name, so here I have to pass my VM name. All right, let me just call it as test VM01, and then I can pass the resource group name or other parameters, right? So now here you see command description, it says create an Azure virtual machine. So the purpose of this command is that we are going to create a new virtual machine, which is the command description. And here you can see the examples, right? So if you are a new, if you are a beginner, it will make your life so easy. All right, now let's talk about something. Okay, let me just delete and let's go and talk about a web app. For example, I want to create a web application. Now to create a web app, I'll just apply the command create. Okay, now it says that I have to pass three parameters. One is name, then plan, and then resource group, right? Now to pass the parameters, either I can use dash dash name, or I can simply go and use of dash n, this shorthand form. And here I can pass the web app name. Like you can just go and type Azure app 01. Then you need to pass the group. You see dash, I simply type dash. So dash is like shorthand. If you want to type the entire name, then you hit double dash dash, you will see the entire thing, like full version of the syntax. All right. Now you see it also gives me the list of resource groups which I have under my subscription. Now I can just go and select any resource group where I want to create this particular web app. All right, let's move forward. I hope you guys have noticed that when I'm using Azure CLI in interactive mode, I'm not passing the command az. I'm simply typing the group and then rest of the command and option. I did not type az because az is already there. Now, for example, you have to work on a VM. Like for example, you have to create VM or a resource group. For example, let's go with an example that you want to create 10 resource groups, right? So now what you have to do is to create a 10 resource group, you need to type the command az group, then resource group name. Sorry, I have to pass the command create, then you need to pass the location and resource group name. If you want to create 10 resource group, you just have to go and type the same command 10 times, right? With like resource group 1 is there, resource group 2, right? Resource group 3, right? But now if you like, the point is az is already there, but still I'm typing this particular command like group and then something something. Now what I can do is, as I know that I will be using group all the time, so I can just go and make this group also as part of my scope. You see, az group. Now I just need to type rest of the command group location East US. I have to pass resource group name. For example, I'll call test RZ04. Right? Now I can just go and create 5. So do you see, I'm not typing az group. Why? Because I'm already inside the scope of this particular group. Now, so far we have created 6 resource group, right? Or 6 or 7, 5, sorry. Now I know that I have to create few more resource groups. So what I can do is I'm again typing percentage and then create, hit enter. Now if you see defaulting create, so az group create is my default syntax. So I am basically, you can think of like I'm inside the scope of this particular command, and now I just need to supply only 2 parameters. One, the resource group name, and the location. So what I will do is I'll just type the resource group name. Let's, for example, I'll just go and call the resource group name as test rz6, and I have to pass the location. So location, again I'll go and choose the East US. Okay. Now do you see? Just to create a resource group, I don't have to type the entire command. I just need to pass these 2 parameters and I'm good to go, right? So this particular concept is known as scope or command scope. So now depending on your requirement, if you are doing same thing or a repetitive work, you can just go and set that particular command. You can make that particular command as your scope and then you can work on that. But it is not limited to group only. You can go and work on VM, virtual machine, or a web app and all, right? For example, like now you just want to list out the group, so you cannot run the list command here, right? Because you're already inside the create, inside the scope of create command, so you need to go out of this one first. So the command is percentage and then dot dot. It will take you out of the scope of one command. Now here I can run my command. For example, I want to list out all the resource groups which I have under my subscription. So the command is list dash o, or I can just use dash dash output. Now here we have something important to learn. When I use output, it means that I'm going to get the output. Now there are different formats available. I can get the output in the JSON format. JSON C is like JSON only but the colored format, and you can also get the output in the tabular format and in TSV, which stands for tab separated views. Let's go with table. So you see the output is in the form of table. Now if I want to just go with the TSV or some other options, let's go with JSON C. So you will see the colored JSON here, right? Now let me just go back to the create. I want to create one more resource group, right? So I'll just go and run my command. Let me just go and create resource group 8. Okay, say for example, I'm done with all my group and I want to go back to the root. So I know either I can go and use percentage and then dot dot to move out of single scope. So I have to run this particular command twice to reach to the root. Or I can directly go to root just by using percentage without any dot. So this particular command will take me to the root. Let me hit enter. You see, I'm scoping all and I'm here at the root. All right. Now let me just clear. So I hope you guys understood the concept of command scoping. Now let me just go and explain something here. For example, I want to create a virtual machine. Okay. All right. Now to create a VM, I need to pass name and some other parameters. Now interesting thing. Here you can see the examples, but here I can just see only 5 examples. And if you see here, there are 4 more pages. I am just at the page number 1, but there are few more pages, like 5. So if you see here, Control N is the command to navigate to the next page, and Control plus Y is the command to navigate to the previous page. Okay. So I am just going to hit Control N so that I can go to the next page. Now you see, I am here at the page number 2 and here I can see the next available commands. Similarly, I can hit one more time, page number 3. If I do one more time, I am here at page 4. Now I want to go back to the page number 1, so I have to type Control Y. So Control Y is the command that will take you to the previous page. Control Y, right? If you want, you can just see the available options and then you're good to go. All right. Now we have, okay, so now we'll talk about something called query. So for example, let me just go and create something here. What I will do is, let me just clear this one. I'll go and create a resource group one more time. So the command is az group create. I have the command. I'll just go and change the group name to 9. All right. Now what I want, that I want to run a query to find out the location or the name of this particular resource group. So the syntax is double quotes, double question mark, and then I have to pass what I want. I want the name of my resource group. You can see test RZ09. So basically when you type double question mark, right, it means you are running an SQL, running a query, sorry, not an SQL, running a query to fetch data from the previously executed extract. For example, if I want to fetch the ID, simple. If I have to get the location, simple, right? So I hope you understood. So the command or the syntax to run the query is double quotes, like bracket, sorry, yeah, quotes, double quotes, double question mark, and here you have to pass whatever you want to do, either location or name or ID, whatever you want to do. Now let me just run one more command here. So what I will do is I will run group and then list. So it will give me the list, a long list of, like basically I have the list of all the resources which I have under my subscription, and I want to fetch the location of this particular group. So what I can do is double question mark, and now you see this JSON is set of array. If you see here, it is starting with the bracket. So basically I have an object of array. All right. So now as you guys know, to fetch any value from the object, you need to pass the index first, and then let me just get the location. So this is how you can go and run a query on the extract or on the result set of the previously executed command. All right, let me just clear this one. Now we'll talk about the next concept, which is how to run the shell or bash commands. So the syntax is hash, and then you need to type the command. Okay, so just let me show you here. Now, for example, let me list out the directories. Sorry, hash dir. Okay, so here you can see. Now I want to delete this particular folder, my new folder. So the command is hash imdir and then my new folder. Simple. Say for example, again I want to list out hash dir. So if you want to run the regular commands, for that you need to use hash before the command itself. Let's go and create a new folder. So the command is mkdir and my new folder. I can just go and change the directory cd and then my new folder. So this is how it works. Thank you for watching, and please do subscribe my channel.